All right, everybody, welcome to the presentation. I appreciate you guys being on here. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started. I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time tonight, but my name is Seth Campbell. I'm going to be spending just a few minutes with you guys, and I don't know why I said tonight. The sun's shining for me anyways. I'm not sure what it looks like for you, but thank you guys for being on. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. We're going to spend just a few minutes here. What I'm going to make an assumption right now is that everybody listening to my voice is a LifeVantage distributor. This is kind of just a little getting started training, and we're not, again, like I've mentioned 2 or 3 times, I like to reiterate this, it's not going to be too long, but hopefully pretty informative. Purpose for this presentation, everybody, is I'm talking to people who, generally speaking, are fairly new to the LifeVantage company, LifeVantage opportunity, and this is kind of just what we would call maybe a getting started training or a fast start training. It's going to be really, really simple stuff, simple information. I'm going to condense it as much as I can. And what we're going to talk about, and this is important for a couple of reasons, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about 4 steps, the 4 things that you do to start as soon as you become a LifeVantage distributor. Some of you guys may not have even gotten your stuff yet. You might have just signed up in the last 24 to 48 hours. You may not have even gotten the box yet. And if that's the case, then that's perfect. We're talking about literally step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. The very, very first steps you guys make on your LifeVantage journey. And this is important. The second reason is because this is the kind of stuff, I mean, it's really, really simple. So it's the stuff that we teach. So as you go out and begin to build your business and find people that want to participate in the opportunity, this is going to be the stuff that you teach them. This is going to be the way that we start them off with these 4 simple steps. I love simplicity. I love simplicity because I'm a very simple-minded person, and complication freezes me in my tracks. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite quotes is complexity is the enemy of execution, and I found that to be true in the network marketing industry. If something's too complex, it kind of stops us. At least it stops me. So what I love about what we've got going on here at LifeVantage, you guys, is that we keep everything incredibly simple. I'm going to try to do that for you tonight. What I want to do, just by way of introduction, for those of you who can hear my voice, I want to just tell you a little bit about my experience. I want to introduce myself. Hopefully you get to know me a little bit. I wish I could get to know each one of you, but I can't through this type of presentation. However, I'm sure that I'll be with you at some point here in the near future. We do quite a bit of traveling. It's a lot of fun. Get the chance to get out and meet people, meet entrepreneurs, and meet dreamers and people that are out there building their business and building their future. So what I want to do, though, is introduce myself just a little bit and just kind of share with you my experience. I think that my background is probably, in some respects, pretty similar to many of you. And what I mean by that is I'm going to tell you about kind of where I started and where I was when I actually first got the phone call about LifeVantage. I was actually 24 years old when I was first introduced to this thing. That's actually a picture of my house. I was living in Kansas City, Missouri. And I'll tell you a quick story. I'm from Denver, Colorado. This may not make sense to some of you, depending on what part of the world you're in, but if you're from here in the United States, you'll understand this. I'm from Denver, Colorado, very big Broncos fan. I moved into that house there in Kansas City, and I actually saw the house at night. That's when I got my walkthrough and decided on it, decided I wanted to purchase it. It wasn't until the next morning when I went back to look at it in the daylight that I realized that the house across the street had a big, huge Kansas City Chiefs logo painted on it. So I just about turned around and went home. I almost didn't move there for that, but that was the first 3 years right there of my, I guess you can call it my adult life. I was 24 years old at the time that I got the phone call, and I was in the living room in that house, and I got a phone call from my dad, actually, of all people, who, my dad's somebody that I looked up to. He's, successful. He always seemed to enjoy what he did, but he called me one day and he said, "Hey, I've got an opportunity for you." And it was really weird for me to hear the word opportunity come out of his mouth because I thought he was set. I thought he was good. What I didn't know was that he had found something that would give him more freedom. And so he actually put me on the phone with a gentleman named Marcel. I spent about 10 minutes on the phone that night. And I walked away from that phone call knowing that this was something I had to do. I had no idea what to do. Honestly, I wasn't even 100% sure that it would work for me. I had a lot of things going through my mind that kind of made me think that, it's probably not going to work for you. I found that the human brain, at least mine, it's designed to cheat you out of opportunity. It's been doing that our entire lives, and my brain was the same way. For those of you gentlemen listening to my voice, ever since you were a high school boy, every single time you saw a pretty girl, your brain would talk you out of going up to approach her. Don't talk to her. You got something in your teeth. She's not going to like you. Same thing happens with opportunity. Same thing happened with me. I was 24 years old, and immediately my brain starts working. You're 24 years old. You're broke. That's a picture of my car there. I had a 96 Honda Accord. The passenger door did not open, and it did not have air conditioning. And for those of you who have never been to Kansas City or to the Midwestern United States, no air conditioning in the summertime is a very, very miserable condition. And I just thought, how in the world am I going, as a broke college student, how am I supposed to talk to people about opportunity? I have no credibility. I have no experience. Like I mentioned, I'm in a new city. I'm in a new state. I don't know very many people here. But there's one thing that was in the front of my mind. There's a great quote from Sir Richard Branson. It says, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes. Then learn how to do it later. One thing I'm a big believer in is that if you want to be successful at something, all you got to do is find people who have been successful at it and then just copy them. And so this was kind of in the front of my mind. I thought, you know what? I guess I'm going to say yes. I guess I've got to give it a shot. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had good mentors. I had individuals who were willing to teach me some of the simple steps in this and help me to develop some of the simple skills that enable me to have success in this industry. And what I'll share with you is over my first 4 years, I actually have just to kind of show you guys what can happen here when you find yourselves in the right place at the right time. Amazing things can happen. I'll actually show you what my first 4 years looked like financially in LifeVantage. My first full year as a LifeVantage distributor, I made $48,000. I'll tell you that as a college student, that was a lot of money. I felt really, really good about $48,000. Now, there are a lot of people out there that wouldn't have been enough to quit their job. But for me, that was enough. My job at that time, so to speak, was school. I actually quit school at that time and decided to go full-time. My second year, however, just to show you how these things can really grow, went from $48,000 to $108,000. My third year went from $108,000 to $244,000. And my fourth year, I moved from $244,000 to $326,000. And we've continued to build the business and grow from there. So it's been incredibly fun. A lot of things have changed, you guys. And what this does is it gives you options and it gives you freedom. I don't show you that stuff to brag, but just to show you that life can change dramatically. And in a pretty short time when you find yourself in the right place at the right time. We actually left Kansas City and moved back out west where it's not quite as humid. Had the opportunity to move into a home that at the age of 24 I would have never even dreamed of, but was able to by the age of 28 find a dream home. I got rid of the Honda Accord, thankfully, and I actually got a license plate just to let my neighbors know what it is that I do for a living, because they were all very curious because I was kind of young to be living in their neighborhood. And again, I don't show you that stuff to brag, just to kind of illustrate to you how this thing can really change your life. I'm going to talk to you about the 4 steps to getting started. This is stuff that the company has sent this company now because of the fact that I was able to learn from some really good mentors, listen to some individuals who knew what they were doing. I've now been able to go out and teach this stuff. The stuff I'm going to teach you here in just the short period of time that we're going to spend together during this presentation. But I've been able to, this company has actually sent me around the world. I've been able to go all through the United States as well as to multiple other countries around the world. And I've taught this stuff on a small scale, on a medium scale, and on a large scale. And you guys, the principles stay the same. They do not change. And so we're not going to go very deep. You know, there's a lot of training that we could do, and we'll do other training presentations like this. But what we're going to do just for the sake of this presentation, you guys, we're going to keep it really simple and really basic, and we're going to talk about the 4 steps. Now, what I want you to envision is if you enroll a brand new distributor and they literally just enrolled, they just signed the application or just got online and filled out the online application, and they're just now in for the first time. This is the stuff that I would sit down and go over with them, the very first 4 things I would go over with them, all right? Because this is kind of the foundational stuff. Everything else is built upon these 4 things, but this is the foundational stuff that we're going to go over, all right? So without any further ado, I'm going to just go ahead and jump right in, all right? Let's jump right into step number 1. Now, if you're here for a reason, right? You've got some goals and some ambitions. Some of you, it might be to make a couple $100 extra a month. Some of you want to make an impact in other people's lives with the products. Some of you want to make a financial impact in other people's lives. And some of you want to make a ton of money. You want to be financially free and set for life. Whatever your ambition is, these 4 steps say the same. Step number 1. Become a product of the product. You guys, this is incredibly important. We've got something really special here, and you should all know that. I mean, if you're here, like I said, you're a distributor. You've probably seen the presentation. You've got some information about our flagship product, which is called Protandim. I'll just recap really quick a little bit about our products. Protandim is a first-to-market NRF2 product. If you want to Google NRF2, it's fascinating. All right, you want to go ahead and read what that's all about. But it's the first ever product of its kind, you guys. It was an ABC primetime special that actually showed that Protandim was the only product in the world that was actually clinically proven to slow down the rate of aging, which is a big deal. And as a result of that primetime special, we've now got 6 patents and 5 international patents, and we've got 20 university studies. You guys, what's important is that these studies are independently funded, peer-reviewed research. We've got research from places like the American Heart Association, Harvard Med School. I mean, some of the most well-respected medical institutions and medical researchers in the United States of America and from around the world now have validated what this thing does. You guys, it is an absolute game changer. Protandim is probably the most impactful product in the entire industry right now, which is incredibly exciting. And again, it slows down the aging process inside of your body. And those 20 university studies talk about what happens inside your body as a result of slowing down that aging process. We've actually got another line called the True Science Anti-Aging Skincare Regimen. It's 4 different products. But what it basically does is it does the same thing inside your body in your skin that Protandim does inside your body. It slows down the aging process of your skin. which keeps you looking younger, which is probably pretty important to most people, right? Like I said, reduces the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It's incredible stuff. I don't like to admit this publicly, but I put that stuff on my face every single day. I love the way my face feels. I feel weird even saying that right now, but I was not a skincare guy before this stuff came out, but I love it now. We've got Microlift Serum. You guys, this stuff is absolutely incredible. It removes bags and wrinkles under your eyes in 3 to 5 minutes. I know that sounds weird. If you've never seen that, if you've never seen this or anything like that before, but I've actually got a picture here. This is 4 LifeVantage distributors, 4 actual distributors that put the Microlift Serum on one eye and not on the other. And you see the results, right? They look terrible, at least half their face. I'm kidding. They all look beautiful and wonderful. But you see the dramatic impact that it had on the one eye. So I'm sure after that picture, my hope is that they very quickly applied it to the other eye. But incredible stuff, you guys. And it's going to hold your skin in place, for a good amount of time so you can go out and look younger and feel younger. And then we've got one more product I'll highlight real quick. This is actually my personal favorite. It's called Axio. Axio is an energy product. It's healthy, guilt-free energy, you guys. What it does is it gives you that pickup. It wakes you up, but it does it without the kick and the jitters of some of the gas station energy drinks you see. And not only does it wake you up, but it's got a bunch of essential nutrients, stuff that your body needs. It's got brain food and things like that to get your day going. And so what you want to do, you guys, is familiarize yourself with the products. First thing you're going to do, we've got one more. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. Physique, smart weight loss, hence the IQ in the name. Weight management the smart way. It's scientifically validated way to and what I like about this is it's weight management, not really weight loss products, but it's got 4 powerful products. It's got a probiotic, it's got a shake, protein shake, it's got a fat burner pill, and then it actually starts with a 7-day cleanse, which is a cleanse pill that you take before you start the other 3 parts of the of physique. But what I like about it is it's a weight management thing. It's not a weight loss thing. It's not something you just do for 30 to 60 days, drop a bunch of weight, and then you're done with it, and then you gain the weight back. But this is stuff that a few of the ingredients you continue to take. It becomes a part of your routine, and it helps you with your weight management. So what you're going to do is, we're going to talk about this app here in just a minute. There's a little app that you're going to be able to download, LifeVantage Pro app. You can probably find it in the App Store or Google Play or whatever type of device you have. And in there's something called the Media Library. And if you go to the Media Library, it's got a bunch of videos. First step is I want you to watch the videos. I want you to go spend a little bit of time and just educate yourself on each one of the products. There's videos on Nerve 2 Science, which is the one I have there in the picture. And there's some videos on the skincare, videos on the Axio, videos on Protandim. But I want you to go check out the videos and make sure that you guys can just kind of educate yourself a little bit on the products. And then the last part is choose 2. What I mean by choose, now that doesn't mean that you're restricted to just using 2 of the products, but you're going to have an auto ship, right? Now, you can have customers make up your personal volume, auto ship volume, whatever you want to call it. You can do that with customers, and I encourage you to have customers, and you'll find customers. Customers are easy to find, but more importantly, what I encourage you to do is I encourage you to become your own customer and pick 2 of the products, at least 2. Again, you can have 3 or 4 or 5. I think I get every single thing that the company makes get shipped to my house every single month because I use all of it. Like I said, I love the skincare stuff, but you're going to want to choose at least 2 products that you're going to have an experience with. That are going to be the 2 products that you take on a daily basis. It could be Protandim in the skincare. It could be Axio and Protandim, but it's going to be 2 things that you start to have an experience with. All right. And so that's step 1. Become a product of the product. That one's really, really simple, you guys. Educate yourself, choose 2, and then start taking it. Start feeling it, start experiencing it, and get excited about it. You guys, it's an absolutely impactful stuff and makes a difference in people's lives for sure. So that's step 1. Let it make a difference in your life because it adds a lot of power and purpose to what you're doing here with LifeVantage. Let's jump into step 2. Step 2 is start building, action phase. Step 2 is where we start to do stuff, all right? First thing I want you to do, and hopefully you already have done it, download the LifeVantage Pro app, all right? There's a couple things we're going to do. Now, with this phase, this is basically the phase of exposing what we've got to people. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to do that in a really simplistic way, all right? First of all, identify prospects. We've got a little app. Or a little feature within the app. Some of you may have heard of a little thing called Tinder. I don't know. I don't know for sure if that's just an American thing or if that's all over the world. But for those of you who don't know what Tinder basically is, Tinder is an app where you download it and then anybody else within a certain 10 miles or 20 miles of you that also has the app, it shows you their picture and you swipe left or right based on if you think they're cute or not, basically. and if they swipe left and you swipe left, then it connects you to. So it's kind of the most shallow dating app I think that there is out there. It's based solely on looks. This is not Tinder, but it's actually a similar concept. What it's going to allow you to do is going to allow you to create a database, and that's important to start off with a database. And what the way it does it is you're going to download the app, you're going to open it up, and it's going to preload all of the contacts in your phone directly into the app. It's even going to be able to do that with social media and Facebook friends. It's going to put them all in there, and then you're going to be able to go through one at a time, and you're going to be able to swipe left or right based on whether or not you want to contact that person. There might be somebody in your phone that you look at and go, no, thank you, I'm not interested in working with them. Go ahead and swipe left and put them on ice, so to speak. It just means they're not going to be on your database. But if you see someone on there that you respect or that you like or that you think would be good at this or that you think could benefit from the products or whatever, then you swipe right, and it's going to create a list for you. So you're going to create a database to launch your business with. And as you go through the process of doing this, I want you to understand something. This is one of the big separators right now, I really believe, between successful network marketers and people who struggle. There are people who are looking, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in just a minute on the next slide, but there's people who are looking and there's people who are not looking, and you guys, your only goal, your only function is to find the ones who are looking. Your job is not to go out and convince everybody that they need to be a part of LifeVantage. That's not your job. That's not what you have to do. Your job is just to find now think about this. You were looking. That's why you're here. You're here on this webinar because you were looking for something. You may not have known it. I didn't know it. I got a phone call. I didn't know I was looking, but apparently I was, right? We're not that unique. There's a lot of people out there like us who are looking for something different, maybe looking for some change in their lives or just looking for a little bit more in their life. Your job is just to find those people. That's it. We're going to talk about how to do that. All right. So the next part of phase 2 of step 2 is the invite and the expose. Invite and expose. All right. What you're doing is you're using your invite and opportunity videos to basically sift and find people who are at what we call high noon philosophy. Let me give you an example of what this means real quick. High noon simply means somebody, just picture everybody's got a big clock around their neck. All right. Like that. I don't know who that rap star is. Always wears like a giant clock around his neck. Flavor Flav. Hopefully you know who that is. So you don't think I'm just making this up. Picture everybody's got a big clock around their neck, all right? And some people's clock is at 12 o'clock, okay? It's at noon. The minute hand and the hour hand are both pointing up. That means they are wide open right now for opportunity. They're looking for something. They're hungry for something. They want more. They want change or whatever it may be. Maybe they're looking for a great product. Maybe they're looking for a way to make some money on the side. Or maybe they're looking for a way to fire their boss and be free. Whatever the case may be, their mind is open right now. When they hear the word opportunity, they're gonna want to hear more. If someone's clock is at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, they're not looking. You can't convince them that they are. There's nothing you can do about that. So that's one of the mistakes people make. And so let me just walk you real quick through a very, very simple kind of a mock invite. I don't want you to necessarily look at this like a script because I want your personality to be in there if you do call somebody. But just kind of look at this as a kind of just a simple version of an invite, right? I call a guy named John. John, listen, I don't have a ton of time right now. I just got to ask you a very quick question. And he's going to say, yeah, sure, what's up? Listen, I found something I'm really, really excited about. John, if I told you that I had a way to make a little bit of money on the side, would you want to know about it? Or John, if I told you I had a way to make significant money on the side. Or listen, John, if I found a way to retire in the next 2 to 3 years, would you want to know about it? Would you be open-minded enough to hear about it? Yes or no? Very, very simple question. I'm just going to let John tell me if he's at 12 o'clock or not. If he says no, I'm going to just thank him. You know what? That's okay. Thank you for your time. Man, I'll touch base with you in about 6 months just to let you know how it's worked for me. And I move on, right? My job's not to try to talk John into it. But if he says yes, then I'm just going to make it really, really simple, you guys. Can I send you a short video that explains what I'm doing? Here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to launch into a whole entire thing right there on the phone. I'm not going to say, all right, great, John, well, listen, we've got these products to slow down the aging process, and NRF2 stands for nuclear something factor 2 and blah, blah, blah. I'm just telling you guys that's trust me, I tried that. It's really ineffective. John, can I send you a video that explains what I'm doing? It's about 10 minutes long. And if he says, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to take his email address, I'm going to send him a video, and it's that simple. I'm just going to allow him to see for himself what we've got going on. So that's the next part of the building phase, right? Phase 2 or step 2. And what I want you to do, and I'm going to kind of give you this as just a way to simplify some numbers, all right? But what I want you to do is I want you to kind of set a little goal in your mind to do what we call 5 and 10, all right? Here's what 5 and 10 means. 5 and 10 means 5 distributors and 10 customers. Now, for some of you, that probably sounds easy. For others, that might sound intimidating. I'll be honest with you. When I was a brand new distributor as a 24-year-old kid, without a whole lot of confidence that network marketing was going to work for me, 5 distributors and 10 customers sounded very daunting. All right. However, what I have found is that if you can use our system, the simplicity of our system, and find one person, that means you can find 3, right? And if you can find 3, you can find 5. And so it's, I'll tell you that the hard thing really is the first one. Once you got the first one, the rest come pretty easy. So 5 distributors and 10 customers. Here's what I want you guys to, I'll just give you an example of what, let's say you did this in your first month. Let's say that you go send out that video to, let's say 20 people. And in those 20 people or 25 people or whatever it might be, just that simple invite, send them a video, you're able to find 5 people that want to build the business and 10 people that want to participate as customers and just try the products. What's going to happen is on a platinum pack, the payout for one platinum pack distributor for you, $500 if you did the exposure. So in this example, we helped you find 5 people. That's going to pay you $2,500 your first month. However, with customers, the way it works is you're going to get paid 30% of their first order. So let's just to keep the math simple, let's say that's a 10. We find 10 at $100 a piece. All right. They average $100 order. I know some might only order $40, some might order $350. But let's just average out at each one of them, they average $100 each. What that's going to do, that's going to pay you an additional $300. So total payout for the first month would be $2,800. Now, here's why that would be really, really neat. First of all, everybody listening to me right now probably could use an extra $2,000 to $3,000 right now, right? Your first month, that would be nice. But what that does is it creates a story now. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have some individuals who might be a little skeptical and think this isn't going to work. I've had plenty of them. But when I was able to go out in my first month and make a couple grand, I was able to go back to some of them and say, hey, guess what? It worked. I made a couple $1,000s last month, and a few of those people said, okay, well, I'm in, right? So go out and create a story right away and go out and get a check right away. That's a really, really important part of it. That's step 2, you guys. Step three, plug in and promote. This, my opinion now, this is probably the most important of all the steps. I know that sounds weird because obviously the products are important and the action step should be the most important, right? It should be important that you take action and call people and invite some people to check this thing out. But I really believe my experience has shown me this right here is what makes a huge difference, you guys, between people that maybe move a little bit slower or struggle or maybe don't even have success at all and those who move through the ranks. Plug in and promote. I got a couple of pictures right there of a LifeVantage event. On the left there, that's one of our global conventions. On the right there, that's I think that's actually the same event. That's actually a good friend of mine on the stage there, one of our LifeVantage distributors, another gentleman who has never done network marketing before, and now he's out teaching the world how to do it. Which is inspiring. Most of our leadership here at LifeVantage, most of our top leaders are people who have never done this before, which is really, really exciting. But what you're going to do right now, step 1 or the first thing you do for this step, for step 3, plug in and promote, register for your next event. All right, we've got 3 a year, 3 per year. The next one in the United States is in July. We've got one coming up in Australia in May on the Gold Coast. We've got them all over the place, right? Every single country that we're in, we've got events coming up, okay? So what you're going to do is register, find out when your next event is, and register for the event. Make sure that you make a commitment right now. I will be there. I will not miss that event, you guys. I promise you that it'll be very, very, very important. You'll be glad that you went, okay? Why that's important is because, like I said, events are really what separate those who make money from those who don't. You guys, this business is so simple. If it wasn't simple, I'm just going to tell you right now, for those of you who know me, you know this is true. If it wasn't simple, I would not have been able to make it work, okay? It's simple because anybody can do it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, all right? It does require effort. It requires some effort. You got to put yourself into it just a little bit, but it's incredibly simple, okay? And importantly, if you don't go to events, your team will not go to events. It's that simple. And you want your team at events. Whoever gets the most people to the event wins. That's kind of the way I've always looked at it. So that next step is to plug in and promote, okay? The last step, the final step, make the commitment, okay? Make the commitment. This one is really, really important. This is kind of more of a psychological step. I'll tell you, you're wondering why you're looking at a water slide right now. Let me tell you a very, very quick story, and I'm going to try to blow through this really fast because, like I said, I did not want to take too much time. This is the last step, make the commitment. But I go to the Bahamas. There's a little island, a little resort rather, called Atlantis, Paradise Island, right? Atlantis. Those of you who have not been there, you have to go. You have to repent and go because that's the best place in the world, all right? If you haven't been there, just go there. Trust me, it's incredible. But there's a slide called the Abyss, and what the Abyss basically is, it's a scary slide, and it's like a straight drop into a dark tunnel, and then the tunnel opens up like you see right there, and then it keeps dropping you through a second tunnel, second drop, where it puts you into a big pool underground, okay? My mom, I go with my family quite a bit. My mom is terrified of heights. She's terrified of water slides. She's scared of anything to do with that kind of stuff. She's not a thrill seeker. And so we convinced her. It took the entire week. We finally convinced her to go ahead and go down the water slide. What happened was my dad went, then I went. And then right in front of my mom was one of my brother-in-laws, and then my mom, and then my other brother-in-law, okay? So my dad and I run up to this little bridge, which is where this picture was taken, where you can stand and watch people come down the water slide. And what actually happened was we saw my brother-in-law come, And we got excited and we thought, okay, here goes. Here comes the big moment. It's been a week leading up to this. She's finally going to do it. I can't wait to see her face. And all of a sudden we hear screaming coming down the tunnel, which brought a smile to my face because I anticipated that. But what was weird was that the screaming actually went on for like 2 or 3 minutes, and I never saw her come down. And she kept screaming. And I'm like, did the water slide break? She's not showing up. And then the screaming stopped and it was silent, which is a little concerning. And then all of a sudden the screaming starts again. And down comes my mom. What had happened was she got to the top of the slide. She got the green light. The lifeguard at the top of the slide told her she could go. She laid down, closed her eyes, and started screaming bloody murder, afraid to go down the slide. She actually thought she was going down the slide. She was so scared and terrified that she didn't even realize that she was not moving yet. And what happened was my other brother-in-law, who was standing behind her, yelled her name. She looked up at him, and he pushed her down the slide. So the point of that is this, you guys. You can't kind of go down a water slide. It's like kind of cliff diving, right? Cliff jumping. You can't kind of do it. You either do it or you don't. My mom tried to become the only person in the history of the world that kind of go down a water slide. Didn't even work for her. A lot of people do that in network marketing. They get excited. They order their stuff. They start their business. And then they never truly make the commitment. They sit there, they lay there and scream for weeks or months, not just going nowhere fast. So you've got to make a decision. This is psychologically, you guys, the most important thing you can do. The second you make a decision, the second you just decide, I'm doing this, then things will get out of your way. Not to say you won't have challenges, but things will get out of your way. Things will work for you once you make that commitment that you're going all in. All right. Make sure that you know that this is an 18 to 24 month commitment. Don't go out and try it for 3 to 6 weeks or 3 to 6 months. I hear people say that all the time. I'm going to give it a shot. I'll give it 3 months. Okay. Don't try. You listen, try the restaurant down the street. All right. Try the new green beans, right? With cinnamon on them or whatever. You don't try the business. You guys do the business. 18 to 24 month commitment. Okay. So with that, you guys, like I said, I wanted to thank you for your time and attention. Quickly review the steps. Step 1, be a product of the product. The easiest of all the steps. Pick 2. Make sure you've got 2 products that you're experiencing every single day, every single week, that you've got a story around. That's step 1. Step 2, action phase. All right. Step 2 is building phase. Step 2, you guys, that's the most fun in the world. That's the step that for me, I was the most scared of when I first got started. It has become my favorite, you guys. It's absolutely thrilling and fun to meet new people and to help people really go from that place of maybe skepticism, maybe thinking that their life is stuck where it is, and then help them to a place where their life is never the same. That's the funnest part of this business, you guys. Step 3, plug in and promote. Get to your next event. Promote events to your team. Make sure that you become a part of the LifeVantage culture by getting to those events. And then the final step, you guys, make the commitment. Make sure that you are part. Make sure that you know it's an 18 to 24 month commitment. You guys take it seriously. Treat it like a business. I promise you, it'll treat you like a business as well. So thank you very much, you guys. Hopefully I did not talk too fast. I don't think I breathed in about 25 minutes. So I'm going to go get a breath. But thank you guys for your time and attention on this presentation. I appreciate you. And I appreciate your silence. Everybody was so quiet. I love that. That's kind of a joke because you're all muted. So I had to throw in one really corny joke before we wrap up. So thank you guys for the presentation. We'll be having more of these. In the meantime,